Hi Nikita, glad to have you on my podcast.
Hello.
And you have been a stylist, a wedding stylist, wardrobe consultant, costume designer, and a lot more to your plates. But before I could kickstart the conversation regarding your journey and your experiences, I wanted to start from basics because
Hmm.
everybody is familiar with the term,
Hmm.
but not everybody is familiar with the work. So I wanted to, for our audience and the
Hmm.
viewers, I wanted you to go a little bit deep in order to make people understand that what exactly a stylist does.
Okay. When I say stylist, a lot of people come up to me and they're like, okay, are you a hairstylist? Are you a makeup artist? It's
Hmm.
like, no, I'm not that. I work with hairstylists and makeup artists to create a look. So, for starters, when you say a celebrity stylist, we come into place when if we even do movies, some people, and that's called costume designing. I'll tap into that a little later. We do their personal styling as well as when they're promoting their films and all of that. So we have a brief, we have a discussion with the artist involved, the production houses, if there are any, the agencies, and we come up with looks, what the audience will like, what they are comfortable with, what reflects their personal style. We put a look together. So it starts from what outfit to what hair and makeup to what jewelry to footwear to their makeup, and how ultimately this look is going to be photographed, because all of these looks go on Instagram if you see
Right.
any of these artists. So how this needs to be photographed, and after it's photographed, then we also get to put it on our page because it is our work as well. So
To be precise, it's mainly about the personality that you showcase about a person
hmm.
through the outfits that you design for them.
Yeah, so it depends on the event. So it could be personal styling, or they'd want to be in character of their movies or things like that. So then you play according to how they want to, showcase their personality. So it comes a little bit with image, and then how I'm going to dress a person with a certain body type, with a skin tone, all that comes into play. So it's not just about what image they want to portray, but also what will look good on
So
them.
there goes a lot of efforts and minute detailing while you do the
Yeah.
work,
Yeah, so
right?
there is, like, you would decide the outfit, or sometimes it starts from a piece of jewelry, because
Okay.
we'd be really inspired by something that we've seen, and we're like, what, I want to place this jewelry somewhere, and then from there it can start. So the starting point can be anywhere, but yeah, there is a lot of detailing and effort that goes into every look that a celebrity puts out.
So you have worked in both the industries. You have
Yes.
worked in the Bollywood as well, and as well as
Yes.
the regional industries
Hmm.
of South and other markets. Predominantly, if I have to talk about South,
Hmm.
it's one of the most underrated profession I feel, because I've been working with a lot of celebs, influencers, and
Hmm.
everybody. One common perspective they all have is, why do I need a stylist? I could do it myself,
Hmm.
right? How do you see this when somebody, you have a stylist in place? It's a very noted profession when you go to Bollywood, and
Hmm. Hmm.
not just Bollywood, anywhere in the north side, but in the south somewhere, I feel that the work of a stylist is always compromised. So what
Hmm.
is your opinion on that? Where it's been seen as an optional thing, not a
Hmm.
necessity.
You know what? Slowly things are changing. I will give credit where it's due, where, the Telugu industry is really coming up, where they make an effort to, like, even if it's like see Ram Charan for Oscars, he was obviously styled beautifully. So when they
Correct.
see a image like that come out, and they know, our industries are also being represented worldwide like this, they understand what a stylist really brings to the table. So I wouldn't say, it's underrated. Like, it's slowly
It's
changing.
slowly picking up, you
Yeah,
feel?
yeah, definitely. So, like, come on, like, an artist has a lot on their plate now. If they have to keep coordinating for jewelry and for, like, accessory, I mean, for like their outfit, is the outfit tailored properly? Has it come from alterations? Has it been ironed? Is it, now the background is something else in the event that they're going to, and they're in the same color? All these things are, back end being coordinated by somebody. So if they have to be doing this themselves, obviously it's going to take a toll on the end product. This is not their work. This is somebody else's job that they are taking on to. If, they need to look into all these little minute things and still be able to perform and all of that, it is going to take a toll
Yeah,
on
it's
the
a
end
task.
product.
Correct.
So I'm sure like the artists also realize that they need a stylist at, some given time. Maybe they will not take it for all the events that they're going to, but they'll at least take it for the main events where, a lot of cameras are on them. So yeah, so I feel South is really picking up.
It's picking up now.
Yeah, for sure.
What goes into the process? If I have to understand, say for example, I'm an actor and I have signed a movie and the director explains me the role. From where, which segment do you get involved from? Like, is it from the start of the movie or till, or in between, or like who hires you? Is it the
Okay.
production house or is it the actor? Like, who hires you for it?
It could be anybody. Sometimes it's the production house, sometimes it's the actor. They would have seen my work previously and they'd really like it and they'd want to get me on board. Or sometimes it's even the production house,
Right.
because they know so and so person, and it's all through
The word of mouth and
word of
everything.
mouth, and Instagram plays a
Big role.
Big role, because that's one place where you can put like your entire portfolio. Like mostly what we do is visual stuff. So
Correct.
and Instagram being a visual medium, Instagram also really helps.
So once you are hired as a stylist for a certain movie, for a certain character maybe, what is your step one? Like, how do you figure out that a person needs this and that? These are the accessories and these are the footwear that is required. This is the kind of outfit it has to be. What is your step-by-step process, if you could just explain me?
Yeah, sure. So for movies, it starts with the story. Now, what my character is going to be doing. Now, if I'm doing the entire movie, then I will break down all the characters, how many characters and how many scenes they're appearing in. Now, if I'm doing only one character, again, how many scenes and what is the backstory of this character, like where he would be living, which state he's from, which place he's from. All these little things determine what kind of clothes he might wear. And you do a bit of a costume characterization. Like, say, for example, time frame also. Sometimes we might be shooting it in 2025, but the storyline is based somewhere in 2010 or 15 or whatever. So all those things matter into what a character might be wearing. So once that has been decided and discussed with the director, because he's the captain of a ship for any movie, so he's the first person who decides if this is in, this is out, and then the cinematographer, because some colors may not look good on camera, some colors might jitter, some prints might jitter. So then we come up with like a palette or a deck for that character. Like, these are the color palettes we want to dress this character in, these are the kind of prints, and so on and so forth. We do a
Complete
few
background
we
check
do
and everything.
like a brief as to what this person's, like, the director would tell me, this person's from here, I see him like a energetic chirpy guy, then we dress him in those kind of colors. If it's a darker character, then we dress him, like, if somebody's playing a darker character, I can't give them yellows and pinks and things like that.
Correct.
So then all these things
So a lot of trial and error goes into the system.
Yeah, so we do, like, once we come up with this deck sort of thing, then we do a test look. We do test shoots and to see, if it's working or not with the character. I mean, with the actor, with the character, with the color palettes and all of that. So once that is done, then we do an entire wardrobe for that character.
Okay, so the step one is analyzing the characters, and the step two is figuring out what would go with the artist. Step three is sourcing.
Yes.
And step four is the test shoot, is what you feel.
Yeah, but when we do the initial sourcing, we were not shopping for the entire wardrobe, because, test shoot is as I said, test shoot. We see what's working,
What's
what's not
working? Yeah. So
working.
again, it goes back
Then
to
again,
the
it goes
research
back to,
stage.
yeah, then again, it will go back to a
Yeah.
sourcing stage and research stage.
And how does the time frame work? Because any movie today, few people shoot it in 90 days also. Few
Correct.
people, they take 180 days. There are a lot of delays that happens.
Yeah.
So you as a stylist, how do you manage the time frame? I'm pretty sure it must be at times, a lot of disappointments. To be honest, it's not as easy as it looks like.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So when it comes to time frame, you have to put your lot of time and efforts into it. Generally, what is a time frame that goes into, say, from start to end, one particular movie?
Depends totally on the movie. Sometimes, like you said, there are delays and all of that. So sometimes it can go up to a year also. You might be working on that same project for a year. So, but say like we need to do a look test, then maybe you get like about 2 to 2.5 weeks to prepare for that look test.
Okay.
In my experience, yeah, 2 to 2.5 weeks you work on it, and then once they set up everything in place when they want to shoot and all of that, and before shoot, then you will buy whatever is required for that schedule, and you go about
That's
that.
how you go
Yeah,
about it.
that's how you go
How
about
much
it.
does a stylish earn for, like, say, one particular project they pick up in movie? I don't think so. They are going to pay on the basis of time frame, but on the
No,
basis of,
it's per project,
okay.
and it really depends on how much you're taking on also.
Can
If
you,
you're,
like, generally on an average, could be some figures that you could give me from
yeah,
minimum to maximum? What could be that
so
value?
minimum would be around 3 lakhs or something. It
Okay.
depends on how many years you've been a costume designer or a stylist as well.
Okay.
And then you have somebody who's a costumer who's your assistant there, so he might be making a little lesser.
Lesser
He
than.
gets paid per day.
So you guys will have your own assistants also into place
Yes. So
to
assistants and costume assistants and all of them get paid on per
barter
day.
basis,
Barter
basically. Yeah.
basis per day.
Okay.
Like how many days of shoot, they get paid on the basis of that. And if they go overtime, they get overtime also. Like, but whereas if you have been taken on for the whole project and you decide like a fee, then you don't have like overtime and all of that. Like if there are night shoots and it's going overtime, you don't get paid extra for that.
Correct.
You get paid for the project.
Project. It's
Yeah.
irrespective of
Is
working hours,
irrespective of working
everything.
hours,
That is
and
different.
yeah, you like when you commit to a film, it might be 90 days, but then it would have gone on to 180
Certainly.
days, but your fee is not getting increased because now it's gone 180 days. So.
Okay. So when you style somebody for a movie project, do you also take up the job of sourcing? I mean, to figure out everything that who to approach, or you guys get everything custom stitched for the actor, or there are few things which you cannot even get custom stitched. So in that case, what do? You figure out your own way, and do they pay you for that, or is it like, okay, this is what you're gonna get paid, and you have to figure out rest of the things?
So yeah, our fee is separate and the costume budget is separate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
So whatever we're buying for the project, of course, we bill to the production. But yeah, sourcing is entirely your responsibility. Like if this is what the director wants and this is what the story needs for the character and all of that, you figure out how you are going to source
And
it.
how much, on an average, does a production now spend on a costume? Getting the costume budget sorted. How much do you think would be the value of it?
Supposing it's a rom-com, it will be lesser. Period movies, a lot is spent on costume because there's a lot of
So
jewelry.
costume do occupy a major chunk of budget
For
during the
sure.
production.
Yeah. And it entirely depends on the kind of movie you're making also. Like if it's a thriller, it'll be a different kind of budget. That's what a rom-com will again have a lot of music, I mean a lot of songs and all of that. So for songs it will have to be a separate budget. But I think from what I know, the highest budget for costume would be for period movies.
Period movies,
Like
okay.
if you take Ponniyin Selvan or any of Sanjay Leela Bhansali's movies,
Because
big chunk is
a lot
on
of goes
costumes.
into the traditional outfits and everything.
Yeah, like jewelry plays
Jewelry
a
is
big role. So they get some jewelers on board to sponsor it, and
Okay.
things like that happen on a period movie.
And what is the atmosphere like? Because I have been on a lot of film sets in my career as well. I have seen a mixed atmosphere for the stylish.
Hmm.
A lot of them, they treat the stylists also well, and a lot of them, they don't consider it also. Right? So there are
Hmm.
several challenges that this particular industry is also facing because of the fact that there's a lot of interdependencies,
Hmm.
right? How do you tackle, or
Hmm.
have you come across any such incident where you felt that, okay, somewhere I feel that this does not look dignified, or somewhere you felt that it was kind of overwhelming with the way the response was. So how do you, match? Does that play a role in your decision making whether to pick this up or not to pick this project?
Oh, see, like if I'm picking up a movie, the production house matters a lot to me.
Hmm.
Like, if it's a big production house, then I know I'd be, my payments will be on time. Uh, if there are night shoots, they'll at least take care of, commutations and things like that, and be safe. The kind of people I'm working with, like the
Hmm.
technicians I'm working with. Now it's been better, but when I started out back even in Mumbai, there were very few female technicians on set.
Hmm.
And I was like taken aback when the first time I went on set. It was like, oh, there are so many people on set. Like on an average there are about 100 people on set, and I was really taken aback by that. I was like, oh, okay. So like, to come back to your question, a, a movie is a big commitment. So yeah, I will look into the production house, I will look into the technicians.
So you have to channelize everything before
Yeah,
you give a
before, because
decision.
yeah, it's a big commitment. Like if it's an ad shoot, it's only for a day or two, after that it's,
You move on to
you
the next
move on to
project.
the next thing. But this is on like minimum is about 60 to 90 days, so it's a big commitment. So then you will see, what kind of a production house this is, and will my payments be on time and things like that. So but till now I've been, lucky. I've never been mistreated on set or anything. but but sometimes, tempers are
Yeah,
rising because, you're working on a time frame, and you're doing night shoots and all of that. Like sometimes disagreements among technicians might happen, but that's the part of the job that can happen in any
any
job. Like,
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
any meeting or anything that can happen, right?
Like,
So
today, while I interact with a lot
hmm,
of aspiring stylists, the
hmm,
major concern for them is they have this, you can say a perspective that if I enter into film industry, I might get mistreated because
oh,
stylist is not that kind of big deal for them. So that is exactly why I'm asking that,
hmm,
this will definitely change a lot of perspective when when this episode goes live.
hmm,
So I wanted to get more clarity on it. Like somebody who's aspiring, who wants to come into the film
hmm.
industry, do styling for the artist, movies, ad shoots, and everything. How good is the environment and how safe it is?
It is as safe or as, good as any other corporate environment today.
Hmm.
Okay, but again, there are long working hours. uh, there might be, like night shifts and all of that.
Hmm.
Only and only if, you're okay with that, and to put in that kind of effort, then get into it, is what I would tell. And you need to be extremely passionate about what you're
Yeah.
doing, otherwise you will not survive this industry. Because only work speaks here, especially when you're a technician. Only when you deliver will you get more work. So if you're in it just to, meet a few celebrities, take pictures with them,
It doesn't work
it'll
that way.
not it'll not from the outside it seems super glamorous that, you're hanging out with actors, with directors, and you're in this five-star hotel, you're in that five-star hotel, but at the end of the day you're doing a job.
You have to deliver.
You
There's no
have to deliver.
choice.
Maybe, once you've gone to these hotels, you've hung out with these people, but if you don't do a good job, you'll not be called again. So only, and I would tell people, it's a safe space. It's also how you portray yourself. uh, that's for sure, but only and only get in if you're extremely passionate about what you're doing, and you like the job. Otherwise it can get very monotonous, and you wouldn't want to put in those hours and all of that.
Do you think favoritism and nepotism exist in this industry? Because few actors would be like, I want this particular stylist
Hmm.
because he or she might have got really accustomed to the system in place. So they wouldn't want to go and work with another stylist.
Hmm.
Does that happen frequently in the industry? or are
Hmm.
people open to working with new stylists and everything? How does that work?
See, now if a particular actor is asking for a particular stylist, not because they like them,
Hmm.
it's like they like the work that that particular stylist is doing or what they bring to the table. And it's also comfort. Like, it's like, why would you keep going to the same salon every time?
Hmm.
Because you know you look good, you're in safe hands. That's the only reason. It's not because of nepotism or favoritism. And like I told you, only work will speak here, because why would anybody want to look bad in your hands? They
Correct.
might like you, they would want to hang out with you as friends, but if you don't do a
So
great
there are
job,
preferences in place.
there are preferences, but only for your work,
Work.
not how you are with them or anything, at least as far as I know. But yeah, I initially, to get in, if you're not able to get through, if you have few contacts, it'll help.
So as a stylist,
Hmm.
what is the educational qualification which is required to get to the first step towards profession? What do you think would be the requirement today?
Like, if you have a design degree, it helps.
Hmm.
Gives you some, you have some sense of how fashion works and what design is, what colors are, color theory, and all of that. Or anyone who's very passionate about what is in trend, what might look good on people. They have sense of body types, what suits a certain body type, and they inherently have, pick up quirky pieces, things like that. So that's what like I said earlier, only and only if you're passionate about this profession would you be able to take it up.
So more
You
than education, the passion towards the profession is majorly required,
True,
and
because
lot of
nobody is looking at
research.
your qualification when they're hiring
Right.
you, because it's mostly freelancers and
Hmm.
word of mouth that comes into play here. So qualification, your degree, nobody's looking at. So, but if you have, then you've already spent few years into understanding what this industry is like and all of that. So it helps if you have a fashion degree or a design degree. If not, then you can put in those hours and uh, look at fashion magazines and blogs and see other people's work and be inspired maybe.
And how did you get into this field? What inspired you, and how has been your journey so far? I think must be 10 years now.
Yeah, I started
Close to
right
10
after
years.
college. Yeah,
Yeah.
2017 is when I started. So about
Okay. So
seven, eight
almost seven,
years.
8 years.
7, 8 years. For me, so I was studying in NIF Chennai. I was doing leather design, and I was always curious. And whenever we'd make something, so I specialized in footwear and products like bags and small leather goods and all of that. So whenever we had to develop a collection or whatever in college, I would always wonder, how would somebody carry the entire thing. Like, if I've designed like an extravagant bag, what would somebody be wearing to be able to carry this bag, or shoes for that matter. So I was always inclined towards putting it all together. I would always notice how, certain costume designers and stylists have put together looks in movies, and, these promotion looks and all had just about, started being posted on Instagram and things like that. So I was always keen as to know which designer they're wearing, which brand of jewelry they're wearing, and how they've styled it. So I think I was always leaning towards, you know I knew I'd do something in fashion or design, but I think I was always leaning towards styling.
The industry as such is highly, I would say, not very much organized.
Hmm.
It's running here and there, and the show is operated by most of the freelancers, I
Hmm.
believe.
Yes.
Uh, so we technically, as outsider, we don't know where the industry is standing.
Hmm.
Like I say, initially makeup industry was also something in this sort, and now I see them slowly. The entire process getting rejuvenated. Now you
Hmm.
have specialized academies to train and make yourself as a makeup artist. You have different sets now where you can go and experiment and do a lot
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
Something like this, quite often I don't see it happening in the styling industry. Is it because There's no one organization which runs the show, and it's highly dominated by freelancers here and there.
Could be, yes. And like at the moment, beauty and like personal care has taken like a big wave over the market. So yeah, you see a lot of like set places where you can go learn or refresh your skills and all of that. But when it comes to something like styling, it's something uh, that I don't think can be taught by, it's not like a technique like makeup where I can tell you this is how you need to do it, or you need to observe a lot. And everybody has their own style. It's like an artist,
Hmm.
like a painter. You cannot imitate, you can imitate their style. At the same time,
But the design
even with,
has to be unique.
yeah, like same time styling also can be imitated. Like you can see this and be like, yeah, this is exactly how I want to wear it, get the same things and put it all together. But if you want to create something different from what you're already seeing, then you
Hmm.
will have to come up with it yourself. So I mean, to answer your question, yes, it is predominantly a lot of freelancers, but there used to be a lot of organizations like Vogue and all of that, where we could read up a lot about fashion and all these editorials. So they are kind of like an agency for us.
Right. So it's all lying here and there. It's just that you have to, accumulate everything, give a direction to it.
Yeah,
So all this
true.
you have to do it on your
On
own
your own, I feel
and
like
find
even
a
for a
direction.
makeup artist, they're also seeing all of these beauty blogs and all of that, and they're honing their skills on their own. It's something that can be transmitted.
Hmm.
Their skill can be transmitted. You can show them this is how I do it. I'm sure for styling also you can tell them like these are body types and these colors work on a certain skin tone, these colors don't, these kind of fits work for a certain body type, these don't. So I think basics like that can be taught.
Nowadays, I see there's a lot of jump that is happening in the wedding stylist industry,
Hmm.
right? A lot of people today, when they get married, they have this that I need to wear this kind of outfits, that kind of outfits. They major inspiration comes from the film industry, of course, no doubts
Yes.
on that.
Yeah.
But today, as a stylist, you're able to also cater that.
Yes.
How big is the industry? Because I do understand wedding
Yeah.
industry is a $1 billion industry today in India, and I'm pretty sure must be top of the world. In that, finding this convincing a prospect, saying that okay, now you have a stylish in place, and I can customize something for you, which is going to be a standout memory for you. How challenging it is.
So, firstly, India is a huge market for like when it comes to weddings. Like, people are spending lakhs and crores of rupees on the venue, on their photographer, catering, decor, all of that. And this wedding picture that everybody is like, I want it to be picturesque and all of that. What are you wearing in that wedding picture? The
Hmm.
first thing that is going to stand out are your clothes, is your jewelry, your makeup, um, your hair, your flowers. But yeah, basically, it's your clothes and the way you've dressed yourself. Now, when you're spending so much on all these other things on your designer lehenga, you might look at Anushka's lehenga and be like, I want that lehenga.
Particular
I
lehenga.
want that
Yeah.
lehenga. I want it from this XYZ
Hmm.
designer. Or that XYZ designer may be out of your budget, and you'd be like, okay, what are these other designers that I can go through? But you don't have access to those, and you don't even know to begin with if that lehenga is going to suit you. If it suits you, great. If it doesn't, then what are your other options? So this is where a stylist comes into play, where we sit with y'all, get a sense of what they're looking at, what their inspiration is, or what their picturesque movement needs to be. Some brides don't have it. They're like, you know what, just let me know what I'll look good in. I don't want to get into this entire stress of doing hundreds of trials and going to 10 different stores, trying on so many heavy lehengas and all of that. So it really comes down to what you're looking at. And when you're making such a big decision of spending like minimum, like a sabyasachi lehenga minimum costs around 10 lakhs today.
Hmm.
So when you're making such a big financial decision, it's good to have,
A stylist on board.
yes, an expert who's, done this for a while, knows what might or might not suit you, and guide you through the process. So that's what it really is when it comes to wedding styling.
So I have a very basic doubt
Hmm.
here. So if I'm hiring a wedding stylist today,
Hmm.
I obviously as a person I must be well to do. That's when I'm able to hire. Otherwise, a lot of budgeted weddings that happen, they just randomly walk into the store and purchase off.
Hmm.
If I have the capability of hiring a wedding stylist, that means a good percentage of people also have the capability of going and visiting the stores of Sabyasachi and Manish Malhotra and buy it on the go. So why do I need you then? That is my question. How do you differentiate here? Because somebody who is willing to spend that much wouldn't want a copy,
Hmm.
right? So how do you brand yourself here? If I have 10 lakhs worth of money with me and I can afford a Sabyasachi, and you're coming in saying that I'm also a wedding stylist, you can have me on board and I can decide the outfits for you. What is that one thing which will convince my mind that I have to come to you instead of going to the store? Because I'm going to get whatever available it is. But if I need something out of box, I need a stylist. What is that one point do you think? Because out here, not competing with other stylists, you're actually competing with the big brands. So how do you tackle yourself here?
I'm not competing with the big brands. You might actually end up buying a Manish Malhotra or a Sabyasachi, but how do you know which is going to look good on you? Which
Okay.
color? Like, you want to wear Sabyasachi, but which outfit from Sabyasachi? Which neckline from him? Because he has plunging necklines also. He has a covered neckline. Now covered neckline will not work for the jewelry that you're going with. Now, Sabyasachi will sell you the outfit, but how are you going to put everything else together?
Okay, so basically the guidance is playing an important role out
Yes,
here.
of course.
Okay.
And you might know, like some brides are very certain that they want to wear a Sabyasachi. Now you do whatever and make it work for me. Or they might be like, I know I want to wear a Sabyasachi, but I don't know which outfit. Or most case scenarios, they kind of back out. They're like, you know what? I don't think I want to spend so much on that one day. Can you suggest me another brand that I can get the same aesthetics with? Or suggest me a brand where I can get 2 other outfits at the same price.
Okay.
Things like that. So if somebody who has that much money and who's able to spend in these stores or not also, where a stylist comes into place to help you make that decision.
So it's more on a consultation level.
It's a consultation level.
Okay.
And you're there for the D-Day where you put in everything together. Like you sit with the makeup artist, tell them like, this is what will work for this particular outfit. This is what we have in mind. These kind of flowers, this kind of a hairdo.
Tell me honestly one thing. Now that we have digital media, before we used to have only albums. So maybe during Diwali cleaning, that album will open and people will see the photos of their marriage. So the scope of it only was once a year. So people were not very worried about the outfit. Their perspective was like, I should look good. That's it.
Correct.
But now because of all these reels and everything has popped up, are they really worried about the reels or are they really worried about the content that is, that they should actually look good at the wedding?
Yeah, they're very worried because they have to put so much of themselves now in social
Yeah.
media. It's become almost like a norm. So they're very conscious as to how they're going to look like. So
I think even the reels are planned, right? You have a pre-wedding shoot, then you
like
have
in your contract itself, when you're signing out with your photographer, you decide how many reels he's going to give, what are the deliverables
everything
going to be.
And
Yeah.
according to that, the entire
Yeah.
outfits, everything has to be structured.
Yeah. And depending on your events, now everybody has like 4-5 events for their wedding. So before it was what, one reception, one your wedding.
Yeah, now you have
muhurtam
4
or
5
whatever. Now you
events
have
in place.
everybody is doing like a haldi, a sangeet, and everything, right? So there are so many events also. So if you have to sit and plan your outfits, now these outfits need to be discussed with your decor people, because you might be in a blue thing.
Yeah, something
and-
else in the background will
Exactly.
not go.
No, it's happened so many times. So a lot of brides would want to be in red, and all of these decorators will put a lot of red roses everywhere. I'm like, God, you know
Okay,
what?
yeah.
Guys, she's just going to merge with the whole backdrop.
So yeah, it's a very, the consultation job itself sounds so tedious, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's about a 4 to 5 months process from the time they come in come in contact with me to the time they make these purchases, to setting up the whole trousseau, the jewelry, lining up which makeup artist, all of that, deciding all of that is almost a 4 to 5 month process that happens.
That's quite a surprise and a fact. But yeah.
Yeah, brides are a lot more hands on in
Yeah,
my
the guys
experience.
are
The
okay.
guys are,
Anything is
yeah.
fine.
No, you'd be really surprised. Some guys are very particular. They're like, you know what, like she's going to be in red. Do I also have to be in red? I'm like,
Okay.
no, of course not. I'll suggest other colors. Or do we have to be twinning and matching all the time? And so the guys are also like, they're also putting up these things, no? So I feel guys also are changing
Are
some.
slowly coming
Yeah,
on to
yeah,
the route.
slowly, yeah, coming. Not as much as the girls,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
come on, let's face it, the girls are planning this wedding a long time before the guys have been. So
Technically,
they,
guys are somebody, they'll be like, anything is fine. We'll somehow manage it. But girls
but
are very particular about, what they
so even
wear.
if the guy is thanda, the girl will make sure the
Yeah.
guy is, like, will get him on board, and she'll be like, you know what, I'll decide everything, you just suggest and things like
That's
that.
also a good option.
That's
The guys don't
also,
have to do anything then.
yeah, guys that don't, it happened in one of the last weddings. The guy just came to do the purchase, the groom just came to do the purchases. Me and the bride were constantly deciding as to what this person should do, and the end of it, he's like, yeah, what am I wearing, like, with this, what, I'm like, everything's been sorted. So yeah.
So I mean, having said that, it's one of the most interesting part of being a stylist, the
Oh
the wedding
yeah.
industry.
I love being part of weddings. The whole process. It's nice. It's very sweet. You get to interact with different people. Uh, Parents are really sweet, and I
Good
absolutely
food
love.
also.
Good. That's if attend the wedding, but
Most of the time they don't, because they see it as a project and then you move on to the
yeah,
next.
exactly. But no, but you get to interact with the family as well, because sometimes they come along when you're
Hmm.
going for the final shopping, and the you're deciding on the outfit, so you interact with the mother. Sometimes I even take upon the immediate families as well for styling.
Right.
So I absolutely love
Love
doing
weddings.
weddings. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Men's fashion industry.
Hmm.
How is it going? Because all these years we were revolving around shirt, pant, jeans,
Hmm.
maybe shorts, right?
Hmm.
And now in jeans itself, I think we have some 6 7 different types of patterns and everything,
Hmm.
but we are still revolving around that same
Hmm.
clutter. Where do you see this going? Do you really see that there's going to be some change in the men's fashion industry?
Um. So, few years back, men used to not wear pink. I see a lot of men wearing
Yeah,
pink
I
now.
know, I know.
Yeah, prints.
Hmm.
I would never see people wear, like my dad and all would never wear prints. Now I see my uncle, dad, and all, when they're on holiday and all, wear these flashy printed shirts and all of that. So of course it's changing, but the silhouette, I think, more or less has is been restrained to a shirt and pant and shorts, like you said. But at least the kind of fabric that they're wearing, the kind of prints that they're wearing, colors that they're wearing have been
Do you
changing.
think because the men today are not really bothered about, I mean there's
Hmm.
good percentage of men who have now started looking forward to a good outfits and everything, but still the majority of them are least bothered. They prefer being in pajamas most of the time.
Yeah.
Do you think the fashion industry is not, for the men, is not evolving because of this mindset? Because when you see
Um. Hmm.
the female, there's lot of progress that it has made. In fact, 5 years back and
Hmm.
now, there's a great difference
Hmm.
in the kind of outfits they wear, the kind of colors, patterns, combinations. It looks like, how come this is not there in the, for men?
Hmm.
So is it like, okay, even if we put lot of efforts, it's not going to work out? Or is it like, okay, let it just go, we'll focus more on who is consuming more of it?
Hmm.
Because female are the biggest consumers of the fashion world today.
Hmm.
Men are not that much. They randomly go pick things. They wear weird combinations of pants and shirts.
Hmm.
This mindset is a problem, or do you think that no, it's more inclined for a long time, it's going to be more inclined towards female?
It's because of this mindset is why the industry is inclined, uh, I mean, catering more towards women, right?
Okay,
So I think, yeah, if men consciously want to dress up and all, I'm sure the industry will also cater to it, right?
right.
Because
Because
uh,
we are only going good with colors now, I believe, because there was a time when it was only black, white. Now we
huh,
have many colors, so people are also liking it. uh, like you said,
huh,
back in my school days,
huh.
wearing a pink color shirt or t-shirt, it was not looked the way it is being looked now.
Correct. Like now, like I think Ranveer Singh has a big role to play in this. Like he made
Who is
like
it?
Ranveer Singh.
Okay, do you
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
has?
of course. Like today, if you wear a flashy shirt,
Hmm.
they'll be like, "Arey, Ranveer Singh type dress
But
karke aaya
I
hai."
always felt that this is exactly what has costed him his brand image at this point of time.
Yeah.
Because if I'm an Indian,
Mm.
when I perceive a superstar,
Hmm.
I see a certain attributes. I see a certain way. Suppose when I see today Salman Khan or Shah
Hmm.
Rukh Khan,
Hmm.
Amir Khan, they never messed around with the wardrobe. They
Hmm.
were, gentleman types,
Hmm.
going with the good set of. They used to concentrate more on combinations.
Hmm.
Now this guy comes and he
Hmm.
starts wearing something out of box, fancy. I don't know whether men have got inspired out of it. I'm not really sure about Gen Z,
Hmm.
but at least people of our age,
Hmm.
we found it very weird, right? But when he attained the title of superstar,
Hmm.
and now there's a big difference. And a lot of people, when I talk, from the
Hmm.
industry and otherwise, they see the major factor that played a role in the downfall of his brand image was the wardrobe.
Hmm. I
what
think he
what do
said
you
that
see?
himself, right?
Hmm.
Like people wouldn't take me seriously because of the kind of clothes I was wearing. Which is
But still he
true.
experimented.
He still experiment. He at least made people like he was comfortable in what he was wearing. He made people comfortable that these things can be possible. If I can wear it, me being a superstar of Bollywood can wear it, so can you. If you want to wear it, please.
Okay.
At least I think that perception of, yeah, men wearing bright colors, men wearing flashy printed shirts, that at least changed.
And he was the only one to do it
He
because
was the only
people.
one who was doing it. After him, a lot of actors and influencers followed, but he was at least one of those trailblazers, people who who was out there and wore the kind of things he wanted to wear. So that I really respect.
And at the same point of time,
Mm.
now as a guy, when I
Mm.
see all these fashion festivals that
Mm.
happens in
Mm.
Milan,
Mm.
and now it's also happening in this Bollywood paparazzi
Mm.
looks. A
Oh
couple
yeah,
of couple of people wearing, they'll have
airport looks.
airport looks is quite prominent
Huh.
now. Then
Yeah.
when you're coming outside a club, then you have a certain look.
Huh.
I mean, don't you think it's becoming too much on plates that everywhere you go, you need to have your outfits and everything planned, everything styled? Because when can I
Hmm.
be myself? It's
But
not
that's for a
happening with.
celebrity, it's not happening to normal
That's
people.
what I
It's
wanted to
huh.
understand. That don't you think it's becoming too much on plates? Because if I'm going
Yeah.
for a walk,
Hmm.
then because I'm a celebrity, then people are going to see me. I have to be in certain way, which a common man don't have. I'm going for a walk. I'll just wear something, just shorts and a t-shirt, and just walk out. But that's not the case. So has it has gone too deep into the industry? Do you think so? Or there has to be a line drawn also.
Yeah, but it's become to a point like even like if red carpet events and all we are going, we might be holding the gown and all.
Yeah,
It's just misconstrued. Are we are doing it to because
yeah.
the
To
garment,
balance, yeah.
yeah, so that the person doesn't trip, the celeb
Hmm.
doesn't trip. They'll be like, oh, this person's been treated badly or something. Not. We're just holding the gown.
Okay, that brings to another question where
Yeah,
I always wanted to ask.
yeah,
If it's such a long gown,
yeah.
if somebody has to hold it,
Huh.
then why stitched for that much?
That taps into, this
Either
OTT
ways, it's
bit of.
gonna come dragging down the ground.
But then that's why it's a red carpet gown.
Hmm.
It's not supposed to be functional. It is supposed to be extravagant. It is supposed to be over the top. It taps into that zone of fashion. It's not for functionality.
Okay. So
So
there are two ways to look at it.
yeah.
One, the outfits that are made specifically for events,
Hmm.
and there are outfits for the common use.
Hmm.
So that is what you mean when you
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah,
functionality.
yeah.
Okay.
So some like red carpet garments and all are not to be seen as, oh, I'll wear this normally when I'm walking. No, it is meant for that particular occasion, right? So it is meant to be out of the ordinary. So that
Right.
is why you have these long trails, and like you take a bridal western bridal gown as well. They have these long veils and all of that. That
Parallelly, a lot of influencers that I see who are
hmm,
emerging from the north side of the market.
hmm.
I have seen a certain influencer who is wearing an outfit which has got fan.
Oh, huh. I know
Yeah,
whom you're
yeah,
talking
you got
about.
that right.
Yeah.
Very weird fashion sense, I would
Yeah.
say. That's the way I see it. Why it is being done? I mean, there has to be some catch, right? Why they are doing it? I
Her
mean, I
purpose has been
understand it's a
achieved.
show
You're talking
business.
about her.
Huh.
Her purpose has been achieved, right? You're talking about her.
No,
She's
but
doing it for attention, no? And she's expressing herself through not talking, but through the kind of clothes that she's wearing.
I do understand it's a showbiz,
Yeah.
and it's been existing since hundreds of years
Hmm.
in different formats.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, everybody have survived in
Hmm.
whichever scale they are,
Hmm.
But this kind of approach towards fashion, where it no more looks fashion,
Hmm.
do you think it's pinpointing in a negative way towards the fashion industry today? Because when you have outfits
Hmm.
with fans on it, and I saw very recently circles, it's something rotating this way, that way,
Something, I
and
think,
she's in
Sati or
between.
something. Huh?
So, I mean, I do understand the difference between functionality and the latter, but at somewhere I feel that this is not putting a right image of the fashion industry on the books with the public.
See, when it's done on a Met Gala, we don't have a problem
Yeah,
because,
Met
yeah,
Gala is okay.
yeah, because there's a theme to it, and then it's we know it's supposed to be like this and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
She's walking around in public places doing all of this. I don't know, but fashion or not, she's marketing herself.
Hmm.
People are talking about her. Her purpose is achieved.
Hmm. So
So
basically, it's all about
yeah, so I wouldn't
the
even say
talks.
showbiz or whatever. It is basically pure marketing. Like, her purpose is for people to talk about her, for her to create an influence or no, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's her purpose, and people are talking about it.
Correct.
How she's doing it is a question all, like, for some, I don't know.
Maybe. But in the industry that you belong, what is the ultimate aim of a stylist? For example, um, an astronaut, right? They will think of going to the space, or
Hmm.
maybe the
Hmm.
ultimate aim is to go to a planet.
Hmm.
When it comes to the styling industry,
Hmm.
what is the ultimate aim? Which is the, like, the OG, if you have to achieve something in life, okay, I have to scale at this level where something of this sort I need to have in my books. What would that be? Is it like a Milan festival, or is it like, being organizing your own set of fashion shows across the globe?
It depends on your personal goals. If you want to see yourself having a design house and being a designer and making your own clothes, then that maybe having your fashion house being the biggest fashion house in India. If you see yourself doing a lot of movies and all of that, maybe working with the top directors and uh, actors and creating iconic characters, that could be your goal. If you want to uh, do things in the editorial space and all of that, then maybe heading a big fashion editorial, or being the chief editor or something like that. That could be the ultimate career goal, I would say.
So there are various verticals that a stylist could pick up. It could
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
movie industry, wedding, then you have ad shoots, then you have personal styling.
Hmm.
That brings another question,
Hmm.
which is about wardrobe consultant, which
Hmm.
I think you have put up on your Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Can you explain a bit more about it? Because I'm pretty sure not many are aware about it.
Hmm.
It's a very premium service that I could
Hmm.
figure out.
Hmm.
What exactly happens when you're hired as a wardrobe consultant? And who ask for this kind of service? Is it the male or the female?
Depends both. I've had male and female clients.
Hmm.
So sometimes, there are people who really don't have the energy and the bandwidth to look into what they're wearing for, their everyday
Hmm.
wear, their office wear, their occasion wear. They really don't want to put in that kind of effort. They just need something that's properly curated. Like, you're wearing this outfit, you're doing these shoes with it, these socks with it.
So
This
you plan like an everyday
depends.
outfits?
It's very fluid like that. It again depends on what the client expects out of
Hmm.
the service. Like, if they want us to cater to a particular event, or something that's coming up, or they just want us to cater to their office wardrobe, the rest they can take care of, because this is something that they do every day, and they don't want to put in much thought into what they're doing.
Hmm.
So every, like, office wear is something that we look into. Sometimes the whole wardrobe, as to how your existing clothes, we can tell you how you can style them differently,
Okay.
because a lot of people might just hold on to a lot of things and don't know how to style it.
Hmm.
So we come in and be like, we can probably change this or buy this, or with your existing thing, if you have a white shirt, I'll tell you like five other ways how you can put this white shirt together. Or if you have
Okay.
this heirloom piece of accessory which you thought only would go with saris, I will tell you what other outfits it will go with, and I
Hmm.
will plan that entire thing for you. And suddenly events come up for some people, and they have absolutely no idea what they have to
And
wear.
how does the commercials work? Is there any starting figures that exist? Say, for example,
Hmm.
for a month it is 50,000, or for a
Hmm.
month 75,000.
Yeah, we go on, like, I like to work one on one with clients, so I get on a retainer with them, and
Okay.
depending on
So
the,
retainer in the sense every month they keep paying you a certain
yeah,
amount
every
for
month they,
designing that 30 days of outfits.
yeah,
Okay.
it can be that way. Or
Hmm.
depending, so it all, you know I give them my commercials only after I have a talk with them as to
Correct.
what they're expecting out of it,
Hmm.
what their goals are. And according to that, I will decide how much, how many, what the time frame of this project will be.
Okay.
And we come up with commercials that work
Is
for all
it
of us.
expensive or is it affordable? Let's say somebody from upper middle class or a middle class wants
Hmm.
to try this.
Hmm.
Do you think it's their cup of tea also?
Of course, yeah.
So it is
Yeah,
possible, is
yeah.
what you're saying.
If yeah, now if they want to take me on a shorter time frame,
Hmm.
of course they can test it for like a month and a half. It's
Okay.
working out for them, they can continue my services. If
Hmm.
not, they just pay me for that month.
Okay. So it is very
It's
flexible,
very
is
flexible,
what you're
and
saying.
yeah, and I'd come up with these numbers and how we are going to go about it only after I know what they're expecting of this service.
And do you think in today's time,
Hmm.
especially when we have a lot to play from digital side, digital media has been playing a very important role in the world of styling?
Hmm.
That could be somebody who must be having around 20, 30 years of experience but failed to gain traction on digital,
Hmm.
whereas somebody with 5 or 6 years experience has got good follower count on
Hmm.
digital.
Hmm.
The people perception is always going towards somebody who's holding that
Hmm.
base. How do you see this, and how important it is for an aspiring stylist to
Hmm.
build their social media?
It's important when, because if you're there for the fame of it, then
Hmm.
you might as well be an influencer.
Hmm.
you know it is important for the right people to see your
Your content,
work,
yeah.
because that becomes like a portfolio of yours.
Hmm.
That's one place where people can come see, understand your style of work, what kind of work you do, and all of that.
What are the challenges that you're facing currently in the industry, or you feel that this needs an improvement or this needs a change? What do you think has to be immediate issues that needs to be addressed?
Mm, Timelines, yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes we get to know about an event or shoot just like 2 days prior.
Hmm.
So, because we're working on such short timelines, it can be very challenging. You need to make sure things are in place, you get your couriers on time, and
Hmm.
all of that. So, I feel if we could change something, if we get a little more due notice, I think it'll be a, a more relaxed pace of work.
Okay, so timelines is one of the major hurdle.
Major,
Major
there are
hurdle.
there
Okay.
are times when I've been asked to style somebody for an event, like tomorrow's the event, I'd get a call today.
Yeah, that's how we also worked.
Yeah.
So I
So
understand. Yeah,
yeah,
timelines are
it's
because it's a lot
timelines.
of
Yeah.
people involved. You don't know, how
Yeah.
when will you get approvals and everything.
Correct, correct. No, but once an approval is made, then I think we can come on one day when everybody can align together, na?
Correct, correct.
Yeah. So, or at least like if you know a certain shoot is going to happen, at least let like a stylist know, because the rest of them can still come with their cameras or their makeup bag or their hairstyling tools. We
Styling is
still have
more.
to do sourcing and tailoring and all of that.
Hmm.
So I feel, yeah, if timelines is something that
So the
everybody.
supply chain is quite sorted. You feel the sourcing agents, the tailors,
Mm.
the accessory people,
No,
every.
sometimes there are delays because of that,
Hmm.
because of these timelines. Not necessarily every brand will work on our industry's timelines. Na?
Hmm.
So there are times when people will be like, you know what, we can't cater to these timelines. Let us know in advance. That time we will, help you out. Then I have to approach other brands.
Lot of people when
Hmm.
I go and talk, they are very well versed, very well sorted in other industries
Hmm.
of styling,
Hmm.
let's say wedding, or it could be wardrobe consultancy
Hmm.
and everything.
Hmm.
But in film industry, when they are asked to make a mark,
Hmm.
one of the major pain points they feel is that we don't mind doing at free cost.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, when we are sourcing something and bringing, and if we are not able to give it back, or if
Hmm.
the credits are not given,
Hmm.
then it's definitely a monetary loss also and a
Hmm.
personal loss also, because ultimately you're doing for some kind of promotions to happen and everything.
Hmm.
A lot of people are going through it, as especially people who are now scaling up.
Hmm.
Established ones, obviously you can't mess around. Sometimes I feel that there is unfair advantage that's been taken from the stakeholders of the industry.
Hmm.
How do you what do you see, and what are the ways to tackle it?
Hmm. See, firstly, I what can a lot of brands these days, even take like a security deposit. We're giving you
Hmm.
clothes on credit, so minimum security deposit you give us, because otherwise you're signing a piece of paper saying, I'll give it out
Return it.
on so and so date. Uh, it also depends on the stylist. If that stylist has been there for a long time, then credibility also
Matters.
matters. But unfair advantage, like they're also getting pictures of celebs wearing their outfits, and then the outfit is being returned to them. So I don't see unfair advantage being taken. But at the same time, you asked about people doing it for free. I would say you shouldn't do it for free. You're
Because there
also
are
bringing something to the
correct,
table.
there are chunk of not just this
Hmm.
industry,
Hmm.
even the photography industry. A lot
Hmm.
of freelance photographers are wanting to do everything at free cost,
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
on a barter basis.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, few are okay, few may not be okay, but the ones who are willing to do a good job at a
Hmm.
paid basis, they are the ones who are getting affected in the process.
But see,
I think that there is no
huh,
choice left for the people like them
huh.
to step in
I
at
think
free
only the
cost.
newer ones who've not established are the ones who are doing it for free, right?
Hmm.
Like, why would now if you have credibility, you will get better brands. You will, be able to keep it for longer
Hmm.
days and all of that. So you build credibility. Now, if you're starting out new, why should a celeb with a XYZ followers and so many number of followers be able to trust you?
Hmm.
That's why I keep telling Instagram is important, because it's like your portfolio.
Portfolio. At the end
Yeah,
of the day, it's a portfolio. Fair
it's the
enough.
portfolio. So now if you have credible people on your profile and all of that, I don't even think people come ask you for collab,
Hmm.
work. So I feel initially you might lose out on one or two projects because some newcomer is coming and doing it on a collab basis.
Hmm.
Then eventually even this newcomer will not do it on a collab basis, na?
Correct.
And when it's a bigger project and there are a lot more stakes on hold, then they will not go to a newcomer. They will come to
They'll
some
definitely go with some established names.
established name. So if you've lost on two, you'll still gain on one. No, I
Hmm.
feel you should look at it that way, because otherwise, then this industry will never grow.
Correct.
I don't mind saying this. Initially, even I did a few collab shoots and all of that because I needed to build my portfolio and, credibility and things like that. Now I take it up as a conscious decision. I might lose out on work also, but I will not do collabs.
Collab post.
Yeah, I will not do
Makes
collab
sense.
shoots.
So I think it's slowly going towards a very structured industry in time to come, and a lot of progress also the industry is making.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
where do you see, you know, in the next 5 years, where is this heading? Because every industry is transforming.
Hmm.
5 years back, the automobile industry was very different.
Hmm.
The IT industry was very different. The makeup industry was very different. Where do you see the styling industry going from here on? And
I
how do you see? Do you think that AI will be a part of styling industry?
Well, that'd be scary, no?
Yeah,
Then it would replace
exactly.
me.
Because it's already doing,
It's doing a lot of creative
uncanny
stuff.
things for the
Yeah,
content writers already.
correct.
Because now you
Exactly.
don't need content writers. I
Yeah.
mean, people who value and who knows the subject, they definitely go for it. But
Hmm.
otherwise, somebody who is new, right? I just randomly go and they want a company doc. They're like, I'll just go to ChatGPT and use it. What do you think? Do you think the styling industry will ever go through this process of AI?
Um, it could,
Hmm.
but it'll again not be able to manufacture things, right?
Hmm.
So that can't be touched. Like,
Right.
at the end of the day, how I drape something, it can't. So
Okay.
that touch, the
The human touch will always be
It's the
necessary
same thing. And
in the creative
predominantly,
industry.
when I say styling, it's a lot to do with,
Hmm.
somebody talking to me like this 101, and, I come up with something depending on their personality, not based on, statistics
Right.
like that an AI might do, right?
Hmm.
So, uh, I might use AI to help me out a little bit, but it can't, I don't think it can replace me as long as it's not physically doing anything.
Absolutely. So I think we have got a lot of information today about how the styling industry works, the pros, the cons, and how it has been progressing. And we had a lot of candid conversation on this. So thank you very much for making it all the way for my podcast, and hopefully this brings a lot of insights about the industry to the outer world. And thank you again for coming.
Yes, it was lovely. And hopefully, now, if somebody asks me, what do you do? And I say I'm a stylist, they know what I mean when I say I am a stylist.
Of course, yeah. So obviously, the entire podcast was subjected to bring out this to the
Yes.
people.
And people don't
And
ask me, do you do makeup also? Do you do hair also?
yeah, I think you can pin one of
Yeah.
our reels, and put it across saying
Yes,
that
yes.
no.
Yeah. A tutorial as to what a stylist does.
Exactly. So thank you very much for being a
Yes.
part of the podcast,
Hmm.
and see you soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.